So hey guys, a while back they finally hit tier limit. So I've already seen this, but we'll just look through it together. So they finally hit tier limit, one of their spell traps. In this case, they put Salik to 1, which is something I've been waiting for this whole time. Because, like, if they limited Scream, I'd be okay with that as well, but I'll take Salik. Now, if they mill Salik, they have to be running the that other card, Meta Noise, I believe it was, to add back Salik. Aside from that, their Salik will just kind of rot there in the graveyard, and Salik becomes less accessible. Salik being like pretty much just the cancer card in tier limits. There's no other way to really put it. This card is absolutely disgusting, allows you to play through like a myriad of going second cards, like notably Forbidden Droplet and Dark Ruler no more, which is like really hard for your opponent to deal with. And I think Eradicator Epidemic Virus is actually a hit for Labyrinth when they get their support, actually, is what I heard. So that's cool. Wanderings and Empen. Empen is being limited to 1. Personally, I don't like Flu, like, at all. So, alright, Empen to 1. Not that it super matters, I guess, because it's still, like, a recyclable card. So, not sure how that really affects Flu super hard. I think that just affects their recovery a little. So, overall, like, a weird hit. If they wanted to do an actual hit, they would have, like, put Robina to 2, I guess. So, cards to be semi-limited, Branded Fusion, Sprite Jet, Swap Frog. No idea why, but they keep hitting, like, Sprite. I guess people are playing Sprite. Swap Frog is kind of, like, just obnoxious with in terms of how many bodies it gives you to do stuff with. So like semi-limit on Swap Frog makes enough sense, I guess. Sprite Jet and Sprite Blue being hit. This gives them still a lot of starters because I guess with Gigantic, if you normal summon like Nimble Beaver or whatever and you get 2 level 2s, yeah, Sprite's kind of nasty in that regard. So they still have starters, but they won't really be using their Sprite stuff, I guess, as much. But now it's because they have no choice, because they semi-limited starter Jet Blue, which is alright. Branded Fusion being semi-limited doesn't like super matter because they still have so many ways to search Branded Fusion. Like, the amount of cards that allow you to search Branded Fusion is actually a bit ridiculous. They probably can still have like more than 10, 12 cards in their deck that allow you to search Branded Fusion in some way, shape, or form. Like, I believe it was Spriggan's Kit. Spriggan's Kit is at 3, and that searches Branded Fusion for you. Although it's not as free as like how a Luber does it, so I guess you could argue slightly worse. Metaverse is now at 3. Honestly, I don't really want to get Necro Valley, so that's the only issue I have with Metaverse being at 3. Aside from that, I don't think like there's any super obnoxious card. Well, I guess there is like Secrets, I believe it was called, like Spellcaster Secret Village. So aside from that, like there aren't any super annoying cards for Metaverse to search. Like, I'm okay with people playing, like, Layer and using Metaverse. I don't have a super big issue with that. And in fact, now that Metaverse is at 3, you can consistently... You can more consistently have a way into your field spell by searching Metaverse off of Lilith in Layer, which is nice. I think that does come up sometimes because accessibility into your field spell in that deck in particular is pretty important. Aside from that, I don't even know what decks would play Metaverse. Like, if Mystic Mine were in Master Duel, I guess it would be an issue with Metaverse being at 3, but I think it's exactly just Necro Valley. Aside from Necro Valley, Metaverse doesn't do anything like that bad to you. Because at least Secret Village requires you to control a spellcaster and then also have Metaverse. So it's like pretty weird, right? And you can just normal summon a monster to maybe like out their Secret Village. And if you're playing a pretty monster heavy deck, even like for example, Sword Soul is monster heavy enough that like you don't need to necessarily resolve any spells and you can just ignore the card, but like Necro Valley is much worse Floodgate in my opinion. Most decks do play with the graveyard nowadays. So overall, like, I think the only thing kind of questionable is the Metaverse being put to 3 here, but otherwise we got a good ban list here. Just real quick, let's look at the last ban list for comparison. Oh, this one doesn't count. Those are pre-limits, so I wouldn't count those. Okay. This one, they banned Cyberstein, Smoke Grenade, Terraforming. Kelbo, Medora, Agito being limited. They didn't hit Kelbeck, which is actually just pretty annoying. Like, I'm not sure. I think the Shufflers aren't as bad as the Millers, just because tier. And then this stuff, yeah. I don't think there are that many like hits that Super Mario, like all of these 3 hits are just like pretty whatever, honestly. Aside from like Terraforming being like pretty much targeted at Flu, I believe. And then it's just like these 4 that matter. Everything else is just nice if you happen to play decks that would use these cards. Like, I haven't even seen anyone activate Nadir Servant since they took it off. So, aside from exactly the Ishizu hits, you don't really care for this one. Cyberstein. I guess Cyberstein Summon Nature Exterio in Tier Limit was kind of like annoying, but I don't think that was as big of a deal as you would think. Somehow that was not that great. The interesting thing, I guess, about like if they had a full board with Cyberstein Nature Exterio is if you actually kept activating cards, they would have to eventually start shuffling them back to not deck out, which is kind of funny. But like, yeah, Cyberstein is just 2D gen with Exterio. Like, being summoned off of Sprite Elf. Really annoying. I can't really even try to justify it, so whatever, I guess. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.